everyone, welcome back to my channel, and these are the books that I have read in March and April. So in March I read 5 books and in April I've only read 3. The reason why I'm doing 2 months in one video is because it's obviously the end of April now and I forgot to do what I read in March at the end of March, so I thought that I'd just roll them together and do them as one. I think if anything it makes for a better video and I might do that from now on. So getting straight into it, we're going to start with March, of course. The first book I read in March was The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. I read The Cheat Sheet I think a year or 2 years ago and I loved it. I ate it up to the point where I even read the Q&A bit in the back of the book and I was like, oh my god, she sounds incredible as an author and a person and I just want to read more of her books. And then I never picked up another book by her. I don't know why. And then obviously I've seen a lot of hype around this book and the cover just really scratches an itch in my brain. I don't know what it is, but I just love the cover. I even tabbed it a little bit. I don't typically tab books, but this one had to get a 5 stars from me because this was like the way I felt when I finished this book. I started it and I started getting into it, as you can probably tell from the lack of tabs in the front bit. I started this book and didn't really expect an awful lot. I don't really know because obviously I didn't want to hold it to the same expectation of how good the cheat sheet was, but this eclipsed the cheat sheet. This was even better again. I just like the romance. Like this is the first time in ages that I've been like giggly over a book boyfriend while reading it. It was so good. Like he was just perfect in every way and there was just so much to this story. It was never really boring. There was no like lulls or like third act breakup that you're like, oh my god, I'm bored, like can we just like wrap this up now? Like that did not happen for me. This book was genuinely 7 out of 5 stars. It was so good. Like even little things that I tabbed this here, him being distressed over her having previous partners and obviously having slept with them. Like, I feel like that's such a stereotypically female thing of like, oh my god, like, you know, I feel so like insecure because he slept with other women and I'm just not on their level or I'm not as hot as them. But we've switched the narrative and he's insecure because she slept with other women and he's not blaming her about it. Hello, she slept with other women. She slept with other men. Another one is where he's defending her in a bar. I know it's such a stereotypical, like, almost overdone trope or thing to do in a book, but he goes, no. This is when he's getting the guy to apologize to her over something that this guy in the bar did, and he goes, no, don't look her in the face. You don't deserve to look at her. Look at your ugly ass shoes while you apologize to her. He doesn't even leave it there. He like pulls him across the bar. I just like this is gonna be a reread. This, I genuinely think next spring I'll probably end up doing a reread of this just because the vibes are like there. My next book was Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. Now this, I feel really bad. Ali Hazelwood is one of those authors that is an auto-buy for me. I don't even think about it. If Ali Hazelwood releases a new book, I buy it. I loved The Love Hypothesis. This is just for a little context, okay? I promise there's a point to this. I loved The Love Hypothesis. Love on the Brain, one of the worst books that she's ever written. No, the worst book she's ever written. Love Theoretically, I really liked. That was like a 4-star for me, I think. That was really good. It wasn't Love Hypothesis good, but it was really, really good. Bride, I own, but haven't read yet. I think seeing an author go from just romance to fantasy romance is always a bit scary because you really don't know if it's going to be good or not, and I can't lie, it has been one of my reads that I've put off for a while because I don't know where it's going to go. And the same thing for this. I've also read Deep End, but I don't actually know where that is. When did I read that? Did I read that in February? Oh god, why is it April? Why is May in like 2 days? Where is the year going? Anyway, Mid. I don't think there's any more to be said on this, to be honest. I don't want to say any more on it. No trash to Ali Hazelwood, but like, girl, can we just go back to like the Love Hypothesis era? Because I'm not loving this new, like, whatever you're doing. I'm sorry, but I said what I said. Mid, moving on. Next, we have The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. Now this, I did a few tabs for. This is magical realism, which is one genre that I really badly want to get more into. So if anyone has any recommendations, please leave them down below, because I really want to get more into that genre. But this I read because Hayley Fan read it and really loved it. Did she really love it, or was that the other one? I don't know. This was a really cute read. It's quite a short read. It's only like 270 pages. This was, I believe, a 4-star for me, or maybe a 3-star. But there's just components in this book that were just missing for me, and I think I expected more from those components that I didn't get, and that is the only reason that took stars off for me. There was a really cute romance subplot on it. The overall premise of the book was really lovely. The ending was really, I don't know why I can't think today. The ending was really wholesome and just kind of tied everything up in a neat little bow. I just think, like I said, where that kind of component was missing is just what took stars off for me, but it was a really cute read. Next we have Impossible Creatures. I did not expect it, but this was a 5-star for me. This has been on my TBR for ages, like ages. I've had it for like a year on my TBR, but I have just put it off because it just looked like something that I just thought I wouldn't enjoy. I think the author predominantly writes children's books, and I don't think this is. That it almost gives like Narnia vibes. I'm trying to think of something else like Narnia. I'm coming up short. This was 5-star for me. I almost wish more fantasy books were like this. There was like next to no world building. Like 90 pages in, the world had been established. The characters we knew a lot of. And we were already on a voyage. All of that, and we were 90 pages in. It felt like an adventure. I felt like I was in it. I felt like I stepped into Narnia, or stepped into some sort of like multiverse, like you do when you're a kid and you're like under the covers, like reading a book at night when you're not meant to. That is the vibe. That is the vibe this gives. And I don't know why I loved it so much. Like, it's literally like, maybe it is YA, maybe it is for younger children, but I just loved it, and it was executed perfectly. And my attention, I read this in 2 days. It is rather short, but I read this in 2 days. Like, it was just, every time I put it down, I wanted to pick it back up again. It was just that good. I literally cannot believe we had 2 5-star reads in that month. And to finish off the month of March, we have Nightbane by Alex Aster, which is the second book in the series, in the Lightlark series. Is it the Lightlark series, or is there a name for it? Lightlark was really good for me. I really loved Lightlark. I was really excited for this, like really excited, but just fell a bit flat. It's rather long-winded. I think after reading a book like Impossible Creatures, where it's very fast-paced, very entertaining from start to finish, having a book where it's a bit more like long-winded and more directed to adults, I think it just fell a bit flat for me. Also, I think having a love triangle that goes on from book 1 through book 2 and is going to continue in book 3 really just made it fall flat as well for me. I'm not going to be getting the third one because I don't think this is a spoiler, but if you want to skip, just skip like 20 seconds ahead right now. But 2 of them are fated to, like, I think it's like a fated romance thing where they're like fated to destroy each other and never be together. So it's going to be a sad romance. It's going to be a romance where we get them for maybe a second and then we don't, because they're not meant to be together by destiny. And I hate that. I read that in a series once and it really just put a damper on the whole series, and I just can't do that again. So this book, I'm glad I read it to kind of get a bit more closure on what happened after book 1, but I do not want the closure that means reading the whole series. I'm sorry. Moving on to April. I'm really disappointed that this is all I've read, but this middle one here is a chonky boy. He is like 800 pages long. Let's just get into it. Book number 1 of April was Apprentice to the Villain, which is the second book to Assistant to the Villain. This, again, fell flat. I do not know what it is, if it's just my attention span or I'm holding too high expectations for these books, but I read Assistant to the Villain last year, roughly this time last year. Obviously, this came out in August of last year. Been on my TBR. I bought it, I think, a month or two after it came out. It's been on my TBR for a couple months. I finally read it. Again, fell a bit flat. I think I expected a lot more, especially with how Assistant to the Villain ended. It just didn't seem as magical or fun. And we just get flirting and denied feelings in the first one. I think we get one kiss in this one. It just, again, I don't have time or patience or the energy or the attention span to have a romance go across a whole series. Do you know what I mean? Like, we either get you in the first book or we don't. Do you know what I mean? I don't have time for that. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm being really cutthroat and ruthless at the moment, but it's really upsetting me because I've not found any 5-star reads this month. I'm just really upset that I haven't found more 5 stars. I don't think I found my first 5-star read of the year until February, which the first book I read last year, in January, the first book I read was a 5-star. I just feel a bit disappointed in myself that I'm not picking books that are more likely to be able to get a 5-star out of them. The second book I read in the month of April was Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. I get it now. I get it. Johnny Kavanagh, like, just see, one of the reasons why I wanted to read this, okay, now hear me out, okay, right, just let me, okay. One of the reasons I wanted to read this was because I'd heard that it gave Wattpad vibes, and I literally got into reading through Wattpad when I was 16 years old. Questionable maybe, but anyway, I got into reading through Wattpad. So I was like, you know what, let's go jump back to the past, see if this is any good. I obviously didn't feel like I was getting much from the last couple reads, so I was like, I need something, and this just kept calling to me. So I read it and I couldn't put it down. It's 800 pages, it's beefy. I literally sat down, I remember I sat down and read the first 40 pages in my first sitting. I was like, how on earth, like, what could you possibly need to say that requires a romance to be 800 pages long? But I see it now, and I will admit, most of it is dialogue, which makes it really easy to read. And this almost felt like a TV show. Like, every evening that I'd sit down, I'd want to pick it up and read like 50 to 100 pages. Not intentionally set a goal of like, okay, I'm going to read 50 pages this evening, or I'm going to read 100. It would genuinely be, I'm going to sit down and just read, and then just stop and just like come away for a bit. And I ended up reading this book in about a week. I think it was 7 days, if not 6 days. I read this book in a week. And since I've read this book, when did I finish reading this? Like 2 weeks ago? I have not been able to stop thinking about Keeping 13. But the whole point, my whole goal this year is to reduce my physical TBR, not add to it. And I've already bought, I think, 4 or 5 books this year, which isn't that bad in the grand scheme of things, but it also means that I'm not sticking to my goal. Realistically, I'm going to end up getting the second one rather soon. I might even do a little reading vlog of reading the second one. Comment down below if you want to see that, because I think that could be a vibe. And I love like doing reading vlogs because I love coming back to edit them and seeing my thought process like throughout, like knowing how I feel at the end. This just, like, the characters, the character relationships between our main two, the friendship dynamics, the group dynamic, the plot, the home life, the different, like, it really feels like I'm like stepping into someone else's life, or I guess watching a TV show, like. And the dialogue, like I said, just makes it so easy to just sit and read it for a long time and not have to sit down and think, oh god, like I've got to like try and get through like 50 pages today. Like it was not like that at all. I think I am genuinely, after this, I rated this 4 stars on Goodreads. I think I'm going to go after this video and change that rating to 5 stars, because I still think about this 2 weeks on and I'm thinking about this, and I really want to read the second one. Also, can we talk about why The Works has got the first, third, fourth, maybe even fifth book of that series in their stores, but they don't have the second? Because I've looked in multiple Works stores and haven't been able to find the second one, and I looked even on their website and they don't do it, but they do the others. Really weird. And to finish, I read The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. Now this, I really wanted to read a thriller. I was really in the mood for a thriller. I was really in the mood for like a short, quick, snappy book that I picked up, wouldn't been able to put down. Now this is one of the books that I bought this year. This is a recent book, but not technically, because I was talking to my boyfriend about it and he gave me the money to go get it because he was like, treat yourself to it on me because you've been talking about it so much. In other words, shut the fuck up and go get the book. So this is a 400-page thriller, which is lengthy. And I was a bit intimidated going into it. But I think it was weird how I did this, because this could have taken me 3 days, but I think it ended up taking me a week, because there is a little slog in the middle there where I was just like, okay, I've had enough of finding out clues. I've had enough of searching for clues. Can we please just find out what happens to this bloody woman? Like, it's driving me crazy. So I put it down for 2 days, I think, when I was halfway in, just because I was like, okay, I can't do this. Like, I need a break. I'm going to go insane. I just need a break, and then I'll come back to it and we'll carry on with this frickin' clue hunting. The ending? Oh my gosh. I've heard some people say that the book is slow until the end, when it's like bam, 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 and like you've got plot twists going off everywhere. And I do agree with that to some degree, but I do think that the first 100 pages of the book are so interesting and captivating and really do get you in the story. It is a genuinely good book. I did really enjoy it. In comparison to Five Survive, I do think Five Survive is better. That was the book that I rated 5 stars at the beginning of last year, funnily enough. This one I rated 4.5 stars. The only reason I took off a half star was because of that little slog in the middle. I just couldn't give it the same rating that I gave Five Survive when I didn't feel that level towards it. The ending was incredible. She really does know how to write an ending, and she really does know how to write a thriller, and it's just getting me more anticipatory. It's just making me anticipate more A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, because I do own it and it is on my TBR cart and I've yet to read it. I'm just really intimidated by it. I'm really sorry. It's just because of the fact that it's a trilogy, the fact that it's YA. I just think I've completely gone off YA. I know I've read some, but like, it has to be a very specific type of YA. Just the sheer hype around it is just really intimidating. So that's why I haven't read it yet. But this, really, really good, and it really did actually scratch that itch for wanting to read a thriller. So that is the books that I've read in March and April. I think that it was pretty good. You know, we had, technically, because I'm moving Binding 13 up a star, we've had 3 5-star reads across the 2 months, which isn't the best, but is still really good considering 2 of those were in 1 month. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what your favourite read of either this month or last month was. I'd love to know. Please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. But I hope you have a really good rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.